include eye irritation, discomfort, blurred vision, and unusual taste sensation. Don't touch container tip to your eye or any surface. Before using Xydra, remove contact lenses and wait 15 minutes before reinserting.
Dry eye
certainly not on the freeway. They were going fairly slowly, but now on Washington Boulevard, a minute ago on Telegraph Road, the irony is that the speeds really picked up at that point. So now you've got another chase here. We're right under them, or right on top of them with their 7. This is one more time on the road. Northbound. And it looks like we might be getting back on the 710 freeway or onto the 710 or maybe even the. Okay, so it's the 5. So it looks like we're getting back on the southbound 5. So this person just got off the freeway, drove recklessly on Telegraph, and now you see this will probably go back on the shoulder to pass the traffic. But you've got a lot of congestion on the 5 right now. This is a Friday afternoon. You're going to have a lot of traffic. CHP, what we're looking at is just what Air 7 is showing us. We're not quite certain the air support they have or how many vehicles are behind that one CHP officer. But this person has once again decided to drive on the shoulder. It does look like it's just one officer. So we have one CHP officer following this expedition who nearly hit that the semi there. But we don't really know they're just continuing on the 5, and there's just no chance that on the 5 freeway it's ever going to relax as far as congestion. Looks like Washington Boulevard again, and we're going to see there's some indecision on this driver, but yes, they've decided to take Washington Boulevard exit again. So now again we're in this same area, and you've exited the freeway, and maybe we're going to back on the freeway on the northbound side. There's another, that was an SUV CHP. So, okay, so it stayed southbound, did not do a U-turn, just stayed on the southbound side of the 5 freeway, which is very peculiar choice for this driver, because the shoulder has been where they were able to get some speed and drive, and then every time there was a chance to get back into traffic, it's just the congestion is just what really destroyed the pursuit. They would just get off of that, and so now this recklessness on this shoulder, there's a near accident right there. So up on the curb, into the dirt, and then back, because the shoulder just left. There was just nowhere for this person to go. CHP is in the same constraints though. Right now, they haven't hit anybody, which is hit anybody in the pursuit, because it started with a hit and run. But let's see now as we come under this overpass, up again on the shoulder, and here we go. So we've been on this now here past 10 minutes or so, just watching this Ford Expedition, who has, for the most part, stayed on the 5 freeway, now once again on an exit, and we'll see which one it is. It might be Telegraph. It looks, this is Garfield exit. Okay, so it's staying, right in that same area, and it is almost useless to project what this person is thinking or wanting to do. But the CHP, they've engaged another officer. There's now an SUV and this patrol vehicle, and so here we go. See if they're going to get through another one of these intersections, coming up on that box truck there. And many times people get frustrated seeing somebody get up on them like this, and then they end up getting involved, and CHP would never want you to do that. But that's a U-Haul box truck. The person was able to get around, now turning through the intersection, and we're back northbound on Telegraph. And this is where they really picked up speed a moment ago, 65, 70 miles an hour on Telegraph. And not quite sure what we're going to, yeah, there we are again, 71. And look, they're just passing, and it's just going to catch people so by surprise when you close that gap and somebody is just making a regular commute. But now, earlier we saw this person driving into the turn lane, and here we go again, using the turn lane or restricted area to navigate around any heavier traffic. So here we go again, almost 85 miles an hour on Telegraph. And you can see the backup there of all these people. Now they're going the other direction, of course, but now back into the turn lane and into potentially oncoming traffic, which is just incredibly dangerous, especially given the size of that vehicle. That Expedition is not going to be able to slow down quickly. And the sheer mass of it, if there is any type of collision, it's just going to be a horrific accident. So now this is near the Citadel outlets, and look at the congestion and the speed that this vehicle is maneuvering through that traffic. Powerful vehicle. It is very stable and able to be maneuvered, but it is just, you hate to see that kind of driving when there's so many people. You know, you're near these outlet malls. This is, again, adjacent to the 5 freeway. You see the 5 freeway off in the distance. And now we're behind that building, that parking garage possibly. Can't see if they've come around yet. It looks like that's it right there. Did it just go by to the right? Air 7 is maybe listening. Yeah, I went under the freeway there, bottom, just by the Air 7 of the ABC 7 logo. I do believe that's it, or is that a silver? That might, we might have lost the vehicle here for a second. There they are. There's CHP, and there's the vehicle. So we ran across another expedition. And so this person is now still on, is this still Telegraph? Yeah. Could be Atlantic Boulevard. So clearly they are driving again for the most part in the same area. But this is the same repeated action that we've just really struggled with. The person driving into the turn lane and passing, and then really picking up speed on these surface streets that are, you know, not freeway speeds certainly. But the one thing is we've seen this person make it through these intersections really without causing too much in the way of risk or danger outside of just the general speed going through. No cars, no near misses. It is so far this person has been able to get through these intersections with unscathed. And what we don't want is for somebody, an innocent bystander, to be hurt with this. But here we go again into oncoming traffic using the turn lanes over into the wrong lanes, and lucky at that point that everybody was in the far right lane. You start to see some of these trucks move off to the side to let people out of the way. And now here you are again, people crossing crosswalks, and this expedition once again on the move. So this chase began again as a hit and run, and this it's a female driver, female suspect. Initially was on the 91 freeway, and then got on the 5 freeway at several times, has gone north and south on the 5 freeway, using the shoulder to navigate around the heavier traffic, but now off of the freeway. Actually, this started in Hesperia, I'm told. So we started in Hesperia, but has spent much of the time in Southgate, East LA area. And again, look at this, over the median and into oncoming traffic with CHP right behind when they approach. Now you start to see multiple CHP vehicles. We're not sure if everyone is CHP. It could be a multi-agency chase at this point. But this person went over the curbs. Passing which boulevard, you said? Beverly Boulevard. So passing Beverly Boulevard. And Ellen Leyva is just joining us, getting logged in here. So she'll join us with this coverage right now. There's no one in the helicopter, so that's the reason why we are just describing what we see with you. Eventually, we'll probably have Chris Christie back in as well. But Ellen, it just gets somewhat terrifying when you see stuff like this.
Oh, it certainly does. As she becomes to drive more erratically, you can really see the difference as it's picked up. You know, at first it was pretty benign, and now it seems like it's really escalating. Well,
I love that term. I mean, it was just benign on the freeway because the person wasn't yielding. They weren't pulling over, their failure to yield, but they also were just driving in traffic. And then you had this. So now you're in the turn lane when oncoming traffic is coming at you, and it's these streets which are well paved and capable of high speed, but you would prefer not because of these types of intersections.
Exactly, and then you see that car is such a heavy car. You know, for it to stop it on a dime is going to be impossible. You see these people that are crossing at the crosswalk, and that's when it gets a little scary. You'd almost prefer to be on the freeway.
Well, and we did see one person on the sidewalk with a bicycle, and then this person drove over the median, which was rock and trees and shrubbery. So they're clearly not intending to stop anytime soon.
Goodness.
But so we're just, because we don't have SkyMap 7, we're a little slow sometimes on which streets we're looking at. But we can tell you that they've not really left the site of the 5 freeway recently. They've been north and south, and they would right around this area, but just on Telegraph, Atlantic. I think we were on Washington Boulevard, and this person has just kind of been driving around, and we really have no idea what they're thinking, clearly, but they are not wanting to pull over at this point.
And we know there's only one person in the vehicle, Philip, or do we know?
The only thing we know is that it's a female driver, apparently, and then we're trying to figure out if anybody is in the vehicle. And you would hate to see, you know, kids or anything in the vehicle, but
exactly.
You know, at this point, we can't really see in the back of the vehicle. But again, coming through another one of these intersections, driving into traffic, and when I say driving into traffic, for anybody who is watching and paying attention, clearly, thankfully, there's no traffic, but into the oncoming lanes. So that's when you really start to wonder, especially because we can't see beyond what Air 7 is showing us.
Yes.
So we don't know if somebody's coming in that lane or not.
Going on westbound Cesar Chavez right now, taking a very strange right-hand turn there from the far left lane, and definitely picking up speed. You know, once East LA right now, but look how fast it's going compared to those other cars.
That's what has, you know, you
look at that.
She was unable to drive this fast on the freeway due to traffic. What's scary is there's enough traffic when she has gotten off the freeway that people are going to be at risk. Like right there, that person just trying to get out of the way, and she's wanting to get onto the right shoulder or right side, and it's just. We've been fortunate so far that nobody's been hit.
Certainly have. And again, this started in Hesperia. Now we are in East LA.
Yeah. And you know, we come around these corners, but look at the type of road we're on. This is when she really starts to pick up speed. And it's the danger for people who aren't ready for somebody. You know, I would guess this is probably a 45-mile-an-hour speed limit in this area, maybe 50, but she's been going 85 miles an hour down these roads. And I mean, you've got people who put their trash cans out. You've got people who are getting ready to, before long, get out of school. We've seen exercise. We've seen a lot of different things. And this is the worst kind of chase because somebody could just be walking along and in a crosswalk and have no idea what was bearing down on them.
Yeah, especially she's barely through these intersections like that.
And you have a cross guard with children walking across the street right there. That's exactly what it's 2:30.
Oh, goodness.
So that's when people are going to eventually and look at this turn, going in the right lane and then trying to make that turn very quickly. And then now we are back onto... Well, we've got a left turn lane. That's a left turn lane that she's in, and now she's going to slide over to the right.
Oh, geez.
So not sure exactly. This says Ramona Boulevard, and we're going to go with that and say that we think that's what it is.
Okay.
But, yeah, so now we're on Ramona Boulevard and somehow able to stay away from much in the way of traffic when she's off the freeway.
Thank goodness. And you figure it's going to pick up a little bit, you know, Friday afternoon, and like you said, school's going to be getting out any minute if it's not out already. And that's when it gets a little more dangerous, people out on the roads and trying to get home and just filling up their afternoon with their activities before the weekend starts.
Well, and one thing that you look at, and I know a lot of people would like to see a pit maneuver, but with this speed, when she gets off the freeway and has really picked up the speeds, it's too fast. They can't try the pit maneuver at that speed. And the size of the vehicle.
Yeah.
The size of the vehicle is going to make it a lot more difficult for the CHP, even if they are able to get right up on them.
Yeah, because that's a full-size SUV there.
Yeah, an Expedition is, and it's going to be a V8 engine. It's going to be it's going to be fast. The acceleration is not going to be that good, but it can get to a high rate of speed. And again, as I mentioned, and you talked about it, they don't slow down very quickly.
Right, exactly.
It's not like a vehicle that you can just stop and maneuver very quickly. They are somewhat top heavy, but not really. I mean, not for somebody who's used to driving it. So it's just a big, strong vehicle, and you'd hate to see somebody get hit at a high rate of speed with that.
Now in the southwest San Gabriel Valley, and you figure that she's more than likely distracted too. So is she really going to pay attention to where she's going? And maybe she's on the phone. We don't know her state of mind or if she's on anything, but Yeah, look at that. Just
right through a stop
barreling.
sign.
Oh,
see that's.
What was that? A speed
And let's see.
bump, or-
Let's see if that caused any damage.
Oh,
Okay, so
here,
now
okay.
she's getting out, and it looks as if she's going to try to run away. And that is going to put an end to this chase fairly
Yes.
quickly because officers were right behind her. You were saying we don't know, but she has not driven in the last 30 minutes as if she was under the influence.
Okay.
And now
she's walked right toward the police officer. She
And-
kind of made it easy for him.
and they were going to. And guess what's easy for her? The fact that they didn't need the dogs.
No kidding.
So she is taken into custody, and who knows? It might have been that divot in the road, the drainage canal, startled her. Because if you've ever been in a car that hits one of those canals on the road, it is jarring if you're going at a regular speed.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can rewind that if there's a chance, but the rear end of that expedition came off the ground.
Yeah, sure
and
did.
it either startled her or jarred her, but she was that is the thing that got her out. So she took off, and CHP was able to. It looks like other officers are involved in this too. Maybe that was Southgate, could be LAPD. But other officers were there ready because they were right behind her.
Right, yeah. This is on Dozier Street now, so at least she's in custody. She's going to be off the road, thank goodness, and taking people out of the danger zone again.
And nobody was hurt.
Yeah.
Nobody was hurt. So Eyewitness News at 3 o'clock is coming up in just 30 minutes, and you will be with Colleen Sullivan.
All right.
And
Thanks,
I'm
Philip.
sure we will have some of the highlights or lowlights of this chase. We'll return you to our regular stream now.